Warning: the views and opinions expressed in this video are not those of a health professional. Please make sure to consult your physician before beginning a new health regimen.
Y'all, I get so emotional. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome biggity back, y'all. Hey, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello. My name is Kelsi, and I'm here for you guys every Sunday and Wednesday, sometimes less, sometimes more, to talk about my VSG journey. It's my hope that through these videos, you're able to find the answers to questions you've been looking for, or the path to choosing surgical weight loss is made that much easier. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. I am going to start pre-recording the video portion of my Weigh-In Wednesday videos, and then including my weigh-in section later on in the video. But from here on out, you can find my stats located in the description bar below if I'm unable to put them in my video. I do find that kind of working my schedule out to where I record the video a day before, edit it, and then add my little weigh-in part, tomorrow or on Wednesday, that it kind of lessens up some of the work that I have to do. You guys, recording a video, editing, and posting all on the same night, whew, it'd be killing you, girl. And I have to take a break because, listen. Anyways, so on this Weigh-In Wednesday, I did want to do something a little different. I get the question all the time, why did I choose weight loss surgery? What about weight loss surgery was appealing to me? And what about my journey in life made me consider it? So per usual, I've got my stack of notes here that I've typed up. So buckle that seatbelt. This is going to be a long one, but my plan is to really show you guys and bring you guys into my world as to why I considered and actually went through with weight loss surgery. I began sharing my journey January 3rd, 2021 here on YouTube. These videos were made to introduce myself to a community that I knew was lacking in so many areas, and there was so much information out that wasn't out there that I was looking for. I found myself searching and watching a lot of videos that glamorized and sugarcoated the process, and I just was like, this cannot be the real VSG process. This can't be what people are really going through every day, especially when they're choosing to indulge or go through with a major surgery that changes the operation of their anatomy. I wanted to share my journey in an open and honest way. The same way that I sit down and talk to a friend about it, or talk to my family or my husband, I wanted to sit down and make videos that fit that same narrative, because that's who I am. Anyone who knows me in my life, I feel that they would say, Kelsi's gonna give it to you straight. Now, I don't go looking for drama, but I'm always gonna tell you, the what's what. So I came to YouTube with that same mindset. If I'm upset, or I'm hurting, or this has been a rough day for me, I want to share that with you guys, because it's important for me and it's important for you to understand your journey before you begin. And I wish that I would have had that same opportunity when I was looking for options or videos or information when preparing. When preparing for my gastric sleeve surgery, I had so many questions. I was scared. I felt alone. There weren't many people that I could talk to that I felt like I wasn't being a burden to, because every day I was sending messages to my friends who had had the surgery, and I just felt like it got to a point where I was just asking the same questions over and over and over and over again. I was a part of 1,000,001 Facebook groups, and I swear to y'all, if I asked a question or if I put myself out there, they just ate me alive, and that made me feel so bad. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start posting on my YouTube channel, because I had a YouTube channel before I even began talking about VSG. I did Dollar Tree hauls, and I did thrifty, crafty things. That's just me. That's always been me. So I had a little bit of a following before I began my VSG journey. And I was like, yeah, it's no big deal. It's just YouTube, right? Wrong. I had no idea the response that I was going to receive to me opening up and sharing my VSG journey. This has been the most enlightening and wonderful experience I have ever experienced in my life. The community that I have stepped into is so supportive and loving and welcoming, and I'm so thankful every day for being a part of it. And I'm so thankful that I made the decision to post my first video, which was about the liquid pre-op diet. So now we're going to talk a little bit about my battle with my weight. From my earliest memories, I can remember being that quirky, weird, chubby girl that everyone liked. Well, not everyone, majority of everyone. And I was bullied for being different and for being overweight. Not only was I heavier than my classmates and my peers, especially in elementary and middle school, I was mixed. And I was too dark to be considered white and too light to be considered fully black, or I talked too properly, or I acted white, which I never really understood. And so from early on, I developed self-esteem issues and identity issues, and it really played a part into trauma for me later on. And I had no idea that subconsciously I would struggle with these things. I never felt good enough. I never felt like I fit in. I was the weird, crazy, quirky mixed girl with a shy personality. And as the years passed, I was made fun of for a lot of things. I was called ugly, and I was always told that because my mom was white, I thought I was better than the other black kids in my school, or because I didn't have the best clothing or the best shoes, that I was poor, or I was called trailer trash. Just things that, kids can be such buttholes. And I was really, really, really picked apart and bullied when I was in elementary school and also middle school. My mom was a hard worker and my dad was too. They did everything they could to provide for me to make sure that I had a happy and fulfilling life. We didn't have the best of everything, but we had what we needed to survive. So I went through my elementary and middle school years as the chubby, chunky, weird mixed girl. And then I believe the summer of my freshman year in high school, I dropped a significant amount of weight. I guess I just hit that puberty, dip or curve, and I think I lost like 60 pounds. And I filled out and my curves came in. And so when I came back to school, I got all of this attention. I went from being the chubby weird kid to the sexy light-skinned girl who had a nice body. Gone were the days of being made fun of, gone were the days of being picked on. I was now someone who was sought after and looked at as someone who was attractive. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a teenager who had never felt pretty, who had never felt liked, who was never popular. I now felt as though I was accepted and pretty, and I liked it. During high school, I maintained my weight. Of course, I kept my weight down. I ate good. I worked. I had lots of friends. I had boyfriends. I felt beautiful through all of these years. And I think it was because of the way that, I felt about my body. I didn't feel heavy. I was sought after. I was, pretty and, just all of those things that a teenager wants to be. That's how I felt. Even now, when I look back on those days, I was a whopping 140 flat stomach, big butt. I look at those days and I think to myself, God, I would do anything to get back to that weight. But thinking of that time and that Kelsi and that time in 2006, or 2000, the early 2000s, I thought I was so big. And even compared to my friends, I just felt so big. And, I look at that and I'm like, girl, you should have just loved yourself and just accepted yourself for who you were. But those issues of not feeling good enough and not feeling pretty enough stemmed from an early age. And it played into so many issues that I have now with self-esteem and that I've had that aided to my addiction to food. After high school, I went on to college and I began to slowly put on weight. I remember I had started dating this guy my freshman year of college, and I was, still looking good then. I was working, I was doing whatever, and we dated for about 3 years. And I remember his uncle saying to me, Kelsi, what happened? What happened to the person you used to be? Now you're kind of sloppy. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, why would you say that to me? But I just chalked it up to being less active, eating more, going out to eat with my boyfriend, eating late night, just the normal college kid diet. You gain those few pounds within your first, I think it's called the freshman 50. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's like this thing that supposedly, college kids gain weight within their first few years of college. But over the course of 10 years, I gained 90 pounds, here or about. So doing the math, that's like 9 pounds a year. That's not too bad if you look at it like that. But if you fast forward from 2006 to 2016, that's a huge difference. I went from 140 pounds to almost 250 pounds. That's a big difference. With this weight gain, I noticed certain things. 90% of it was around my midsection. I've always carried weight around my midsection, and I never knew why. My arms, my feet, my face, my legs, those areas remained relatively small, but it seemed like all of my weight, all of that 90 pounds came directly to my midsection. I was constantly asked if I was pregnant. I remember specifically being in Walmart with my sister one day, and this guy comes up to us and he says, hey, because my sister, she's chunky too. And so he says to us, oh my God, it must be fun to be pregnant with your friend at the same time. And we both look at him and we're like, we're not pregnant. And so he was like, oh, okay. And so he walks off. And he comes back, he's like, no, stop playing with me. I know y'all are pregnant. And I'm like, no, we're not pregnant. And, I was constantly asked if I was pregnant, and it would hurt my feelings so bad. And, that was the worst for me. So then I began to hide myself under big clothes, and in a lot of my wardrobe, previous to my weight loss surgery, I would cover myself in scarves and jackets and anything that could hide my area of contention, my stomach, I would put it on. So over time, I began to fall into depressions, and then I would snap out of it, and then I would diet, and I would work my ass off to lose 10 pounds, and then I would struggle to keep it off. And I was like, what is wrong with me? I did Adipex. I tried starving myself. And no matter what I did, it's like the weight came back. And when it came back with a vengeance. And when it did, I hurt and I cried. And as a result, I ate. Throughout the years, I became involved in abusive, toxic relationships that did nothing but fuel my food addiction and also my depression. It lowered my self-view and my self-esteem and how I felt about myself overall. It was just like the perfect cocktail to lead to where I was 6 months ago. Many instances in my life, I felt worthless. My heart was broken. I still did not feel good enough. So I was looking for that love and that acceptance and that life from another person that I never had found throughout my adolescent years, except for when I had lost the weight, prior to high school. I felt loved and accepted and I felt beautiful. But when I gained that weight back, plus some, that feeling faded away. I ate to deal with my pain, the pain of childhood traumas, sexual abuse, things of that nature. I ate to make me feel better. And through doing that, an addiction was born. Fast forward then to 2018, I've been struggling with my weight, and I was at my highest remembered weight ever, and that was 258 pounds. I was not happy about it, but I also wasn't doing much about it either. I would diet, lose 10 pounds after 6 months of extreme dieting and starvation type tactics, and then turn around and binge or, feed into my addictions and gain that 10 plus some back. But there was nothing that I could do about it. I was unhappy, I was overweight, I was miserable, but I saw no way to fix my circumstances. I began to notice issues with my body though. For many, many years, I had an irregular and non-existent period. I would go a year, 8 months, 6 months with no period, or I'd have a period that would last for 12, 14, 18, 20 days, and it would be very, very, very heavy. I noticed that I would grow facial hair and that my neck was dark. There were times when I became pregnant that I couldn't keep or maintain a pregnancy, and I didn't know what was going on with me. I was seeing a gynecologist at the time. It was a male gynecologist, and I would express to him, hey, I'm really tired all the time and I can't seem to get pregnant, or I lose a baby, or my period is irregular. Is this normal for me to go 3 months, 4 months, a year without a period? And of course, the gynecologist would just, oh, it's no big deal. Lose 70 pounds and you'll start a period again and you can get pregnant. You're tired because you're overweight. Once you lose the weight, you'll become less tired, And I was like, oh, okay, that's got to be the answer, because I trust my gynecologist because you're the doctor, right? You're the professional, right? Right? I heard what he was saying. I just knew I couldn't lose the weight, or I couldn't keep the weight off. So I was working at my previous job to the one that I have now. And I was telling my executive director about some things I was going through. And she said, hey, why not check out the gynecologist that I go to? I think it could be, healthy for you. Try something new. And although I was nervous, I still went because I was like, there's gotta be something going on. And so I went to, the gynecologist that I'm at now and that I've been at for years. And there was a light that illuminated my entire situation, shined my first appointment. The doctor took her time to listen to me. She addressed my concerns. She was there for me. She understood. And without any testing or any other information, she said, you know what? I think you have PCOS. Let's find out. And from that moment, my life changed. Finally, things that I couldn't find the answers to, and there was things that I didn't understand, they finally made sense. The irregular period, the weight gain around my stomach, the trouble losing weight, the facial hair, the dark neck, the extreme exhaustion, it all made sense now. I get it. So this brings me to the topic at hand. Why did I choose VSG surgery? Moving on to October 2019, picture this. You're at Disney World and you're there with your family and you decide to go on a ride that has a 2.5 hour long wait. You wait in the ride line, you're with your family, you're excited, you're ready to get on, you are pumped. But also keep in mind that for 8 months prior to your vacation, you spent dieting, extreme dieting, and you lost 10 pounds. You were excited because you didn't think you would have to worry about fitting on a ride or not being able to do something because you were too big. You were excited. After waiting in line, we do get our turn to step up to the ride, and you mount the ride, and it clicks in the front and in the back. Clicks fine because it just kind of sits here, and then the back one they are going to push in for you. Imagine being on that ride and you can't fit. After waiting 2.5 hours, you have to be escorted off of the ride in front of 40, 50, 60 people who waited in that line with you. You're too big to ride. That was another time that my weight hindered me. Not only did it hinder me on a ride in Disney World, it hindered me physically. I was hurting. I couldn't wear clothes that I wanted to wear. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel healthy. And I have been diagnosed as pre-diabetic and insulin resistance as an accompanying feature to the PCOS. PCOS was like, hey, I'm going to bring this pre-diabetic and insulin resistance to the show with me if you don't mind. Not like I really had a choice. So I was on medication. My weight was it wasn't, I didn't want it anymore. I didn't want to be big anymore. I didn't want to have to suffer anymore. I didn't want to feel like that big girl in the crowd of small people anymore. I just didn't want to do it. The following months, I buried myself in VSG information. I went to online seminars. I read online blogs. I talked to friends. I did my own personal research. I sat and I talked to my husband about it. I thought and I contemplated and I put together as much as I could before I made the final decision to pursue it. I struggled so long with my weight. And this is a paraphrased, chain of events. If I could really go into all of the trauma that I have in my life that led up to the moment that I chose to have VSG surgery, we'd be sitting here for 45 minutes, maybe more. And I don't want to do that to you guys. So when I finally sat down with my surgeon, Dr. Malaper, one of the first questions he asked me was, why are you choosing bariatric surgery? My answer was simply, I want a better life. I want to be healthy, and right now, I'm unhealthy. And he looked at me in that moment and he said, well, my dear, you have come to the right place. So here we are, 5 months post-op, and I honestly feel like this was the best decision I could have ever made for myself in my entire life. For the first time ever, I was selfish enough to do something for myself that I was unsure of the consequences or the outcome, but I just knew that it had to do something for me. I just knew that it had to fix what I had going on. I knew that it was worth the chance. It was worth stepping out on faith to try and change the situation that I was in. So my reason for choosing VSG surgery was to combat health issues. I was overweight, depressed, and headed for a very unhappy and short-lived life. My weight wasn't just physical. My weight is not just physical. It is mental and emotional, and it affected every aspect of my life, from my relationship, to my presence in my job, to my self-esteem, to my friendships, to my family. This surgery, I've learned so much about myself. I'm here after my surgery, and I have never felt so beautiful and so confident and so full of life. Because I have allowed myself to grow and to transition into who I knew I always could be. There's something amazing about knowing that there's someone inside of you who doesn't hate themselves. Y'all, I hated myself for so long. And weight is not everything. I want to make that clear. I had a deep-seated hatred of the way that I looked, of the way that I felt. We are our harshest critic, and I tore myself apart every day. I have one regret, one. And is that I did not allow myself to have this surgery sooner. It's that I did not make the steps to have the surgery sooner. I sit here at 33 years old, and I feel like if I didn't lose another pound, I would be satisfied and satiated and happy and fulfilled, because I would have never been able to lose 75 pounds on my own. When watching this video, I don't know what stage of the VSG journey that you're on. I'm not even sure if you're considering bariatric surgery. You may be on a weight loss journey, or you may just be here because you like me. My only hope is that you allow yourself to have a better life, even if it's just choosing to make healthier decisions and making better choices. Life is so precious. And I truly feel that this surgery, this tool, has given me back a part of me that I never thought that I would find again or find at all. When you ask me this question today, why did I choose VSG surgery? And my answer will forever and ever be, always and forever, to infinity and beyond. I chose this surgery for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hate to get emotional, you guys, but I think that we spend so much time buried in the what if. What if I could lose 10 more pounds? Or what if I could lose 20 pounds? Or only if I could be smaller. For the first time in my life, I can put on my clothes and like who I see standing in the mirror. I don't feel judged. I don't feel picked apart. I have given myself the much needed grace and time and the love that I needed. We spend so much time giving ourselves to other people that we forget about ourselves. And I forgot about Kelsi. There was a time that I felt I didn't deserve a better life because I wasn't good enough. But this surgery has allowed me to see how good I am and how I deserve everything that I have. If you have not, and you would like to be, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Become a member of my family. I would love to have you here. Y'all, I get so emotional. Remember, anything that you do to better your quality of life is for you. You won't regret it. You won't want to change your mind. I pray that whatever stage you are in, that you remember the most part of the equation is you. Join my family. Become a member of my family. Come on in for the hug. You guys could have been anywhere else on this YouTube planet, but you chose to be here with me. I love you guys so much. I'm going to put my weigh-in clip at the end of the video, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace, y'all. Bye. Good morning, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get into my weigh-in for this week. So we're going to wake up my scale. All right, put y'all close to the scale, and here we go. 254.8.